Okay, so this morning we had uh, biscuit and gravy for breakfast. Our daughter was in town; she really likes that, so that's what we had for breakfast. And I was cleaning up after breakfast, and I thought I'd show you how we maintain, or how I maintain our black iron skillets. Uh, Notice I said maintain. This is not how to season from scratch, or clean up and season, that regular maintenance. This is just normal day-to-day maintenance on black iron skillets. A little bit of advertisement. These little pot holders, I guess. I got these a couple years ago from Hyde and Drake. This little leather thing. I also have a leather one to go on the end like this. But anyway, this is what I do to just maintain a layer of that protective oil layer, because that's what you're doing when you season a cast iron skillet. You're baking on a layer of protective oil. You might buy a Teflon coated skillet, and that Teflon is adhered to the metal, and once you scratch it and wear it out, you really got to throw it away. I think you probably can send it off and get it, Teflon reapplied, but it's probably very expensive. Cast iron lasts for years and years, and you just maintain your oil coating. So this is what I do. It's been sitting here a little while. We ate a little earlier, and I'm just now getting around to these skillets. But I've got two of them. One we had the biscuits in, and then one I cooked the gravy in. And so I'll just set them in the sink here, running warm water. And I like to take these things. We get these from Pampered Chef. So, years ago it was real popular. I think it's still out there now, but probably not as popular. But, they used to sell these stoneware stuff. And so we've got some of that. And every time you buy a piece of stone or whatever, you get this little scraper. And so these were the first ones we got, this little brown one. And lately they've been giving us the blue ones. But I keep these in a little dish here by the sink and use them, while we're doing dishes. Really good to scrape up. And so what I'm doing, I'm just scraping up that, the sort of, I don't know, cooked on gravy, because, gravy is milk and flour, right? And so I'm just scraping that out, the big chunks out of here. I do not put my cast iron in the soapy water. I will use a soapy cloth. It's the same cloth that I use to wash my dishes with. I just don't drop the cast iron in there. I never put my cast iron in the dishwasher. I always do this by hand. So I'm just scraping up the big parts of that to get all the residue out. Sometimes you might see folks put it on the stove eye, and put a little bit of water in there. And what you're doing, it's creating a steam, and that steam will help release those food particles. That's a really good way. I can't remember what it's called when you're doing that with cooking, and you deglaze a pan, right? So you may have fried a pork chop or something in a skillet, and there's that brown fond that is stuck to the skillet, and you pour some wine or some liquid in there, and you scrape it, and you deglaze it, and you pull that fond up. That fond is where a lot of the good flavors are. So when you have food prepared at big time kitchens, they always reuse their fond to make their gravy or sauce, right? So keep that in mind. But what you're doing there, you're creating a steam that is getting down there and removing the food particles. So good way to clean something that's baked on or whatever is to take it and put some water on it and create some steam, and let that steam help you. Sort of like when you steam clean clothes. You've heard of, steam clean clothes. It's the same principle. So I've now cleaned up that pot, got all the big stuff out of it. I'll take this rag, dry it off, I'm gonna put it on the stove eye and turn the eye on, you know, a little low, medium, somewhere there while I do this other one. So now we just got the black iron skillets on the stove top, and really what we're doing is heating the skillets up. And what that does, you know, as you heat that skillet up, you know, if you remember from, I guess, high school chemistry or physics or whatever, when things get hot, they tend to grow, right? You know, solids tend to swell up. That's why when you're I say hot, uh, you know, they heat up and things swell. Actually, if I remember right, it depends on what the material is, but this is black iron, so it will grow a bit. And what'll happen is you'll actually grow, you know, on a microscopic level. Maybe you're gonna make that skillet open up its pores, sort of like when, you know, you take a shower or something, you know, your pores are open. That's when they say to do your exfoliating or whatever with your skin, and sort of the same concept. And so we're opening the pores on the skillet by heating the skillet up on the stove. So I just let it heat up for a little while. I can, you know, I don't touch the skillet, so I can put my hand in there and feel it's pretty warm. And then what we'll do, we'll apply an oil. Now, there's a lot of discrepancy about what kind of oil you apply. I just use regular old, in this maintenance action, I just use regular old olive oil, or vegetable oil, whatever is available. I keep some olive oil on the counter here for cooking. Vegetable oil I keep underneath here. I don't go toward a grapeseed or an avocado or a coconut, something like that. A lot of that, you know, you would use when you do your first seasoning, you know, that high smoke point oil. But this is just a maintenance action, and so it's pretty quick, and you know, just put some oil in there. So here's my olive oil, and I'm just going to put, I don't know, maybe if you remember how big a silver dollar was, about a silver dollar size in there. A little bit less than this guy over here, because we're going to use that same paper towel. We wipe this one out. We're going to wipe it out with that one. So then you get you a paper towel. I sort of fold it over into pieces, and I want to pick up that skillet. It's hot, so I'm going to use this towel to help me hold it, and just sort of run the oil around a bit, turn my eye off, and then take my paper towel, and I'm just going to rub the oil in, just all around the inside. And it's going to be, you know, a little shiny, a little wet, and that's okay. Rub it around the edge there. I even flip it over, get the outside, get the bottom, because the bottom will get scratched on the cooking surface there. Set her down a little bit on the handle, and then fold the paper towel one more time to get more of a dry side. And now I'm going to sort of dry that up a little bit, like that. And then go to my next skillet. Same thing, it's got that little dollop already in there. Using the same paper towel, and just work it around, distributing that oil. Now this skillet, you can see, probably need to put it in and bake it off, but this is outside. I'm not worried about, you know, what the outside looks like. The inside is the part where you need the smooth cooking surface. And so there it is. I have applied that coating of oil on there, and now I'll just let the skillets sit on the stovetop until they cool down, and then I'll put them back over there on my rack. But that's sort of how easy it is to maintain your black iron skillets. I'll show you my rack over here with my black iron skillets. You know, different type skillets. We use them a lot. It's a real good thing to cook on. Easy to maintain. Lasts for years. I think some of those were Rochelle's grandmother's. And then I got a couple of them. Some of the guys out in New Mexico got me some of these Kamals. But anyway, thanks for joining me, and just you know, maintaining your own stuff. That's what works for me mostly.